Good day, everyone. Do you ever find that people often misunderstand you? You explain yourself a bunch of times about something, and people question, or they seem confused or angry, or they just don't understand, and it often makes you feel isolated and alone. Or do you often find that maybe sometimes when you're listening to somebody speak to you about their experience of something and you don't really understand, and you're like, but why would you even do that? I don't get it. I don't understand. And with this feeling of not understanding, you also feel a disconnect as well with the other person, which doesn't allow you to feel empathy or sympathy. I guess empathy, really, for the other person's experience. And so I notice this a lot. I mean, even in on my own journey, especially with growing up with my mom and all the challenges that she was going through within her own experience of life and in her mind. And I got angry at her a lot. And growing up, obviously, I just didn't know any better, and I wanted my mom to be there. I didn't want her to be drunk all the time because I loved her very much. But at the same time, so my point to this is that I see this a lot in people in general, is that, within relationships, friendships, workships, relations in general, right? This experience is an emotional human experience of relations. And I find that one thing that disconnects people from connection and is this misunderstanding, and having this as individuals, coming from our own experience, our own reality, and listening to somebody else's experience and their reality. I think we think that the other person is supposed to be, the same as us in a sense. A lot of us have this challenge that we're not able to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes, and that we have this autopilot behavior or reaction to judge people, to be like, why would you do that? I don't understand. Oh my God. And then, like, with that reaction, that cuts off connection to the other person, and then makes the other person feel alone in their experience. And of course, whatever they experienced was their experience, so yeah, they were alone experiencing it. But just like a baby with a mother, in psychology I learned that, like, a baby, whenever the baby is crying or upset or happy or whatever, it's very important for the mother or like the caregiver to reflect back the feelings of the baby. And when the mother or the caregiver doesn't reflect back the feelings of the baby, and they've done experiments, I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, it's called the still face experiment. So when the mother doesn't reflect back joy or upset or happiness or whatever, then the baby becomes like upset, like, hello, what's going on? Hello? And you can tell that the baby feels alone in what it's experiencing. So my point is that even as we grow up, right, into adults or a teenager or whatever age you are, you know that feeling when you tell somebody something that you went through, or something that happened, even if it was like a happy experience or a sad experience, and they kind of reflect back how you're feeling, and you're just like, right, like, and you feel, because they're reflecting back, you feel seen, you feel heard, and you don't feel alone in your experience of whatever it is that you went through, even if the person wasn't there. And so I think as humans, what we need to start doing to create more connection and love in our relation is become aware of our habit of thinking, like, of judging people based on our own experience, and get away from that habit of, or get into the habit of putting ourselves in that person's shoes and really listening attentively without judgment, right? Without our own preconceived notions, without our own like experience. Because automatically as humans, you know, everything is mental. So we're experiencing life through our own mental lens, like our beliefs, our thoughts, our past experience. Like, this is how we're viewing everything in the world, is from our past experiences. And so that's like an automatic thing, and that enables us to, like, you know, survive, thrive, and like not make mistakes that we made in the past and learn from them and all that stuff, right? And that's all well and good. But in the moment of trying to connect with somebody that needs our reflection, or our love, our connection, us seeing them, we need to become conscious of this, you know, tendency to kind of use our past experiences to judge something and put them aside, right? And be still and open to receive what it is that they're telling us right now, their experience, what they're experiencing. Almost like we need to empty all of our automatic, you know, our beliefs, our thoughts, our opinions, our past, to be open to receive what it is that they want to tell us. Even if it's something that we don't agree with, even if it's something that makes us feel really uncomfortable and weird, right? If somebody just needs to feel heard or seen, which is very important for humans, like going back to the baby, the still face experiment, then what would it take for us to just let go of our beliefs and our own opinions and judgments, to be able to just listen without judgment and allow the person that we care about, or anybody for the matter, to just be seen and heard, right? It doesn't take much for us to be able to do that, and I think if we started to be able to do that in our intimate relationships especially, or even our friendships, I mean, any relationships really, we can, then what'll happen is people will start to feel heard, seen, connected to one another, you know, less depression, less anxiety, less worry, and more connection and faith and trust in one another, to be able to speak about our experience, knowing that the other person is going to hear us. We're going to be heard, we're going to be seen, right? And in psychology, I learned in my emotions class that even just somebody talking about how they're feeling literally starts to regulate the emotions and calm down the nervous system in the body. And with keeping that in mind, imagine somebody that they're talking to is also on top of that open and receiving what they're saying, and saying things like, wow, that must have been really hard for you. You know, is there anything I can do for you? Or sometimes you don't even really have to say much. A lot of people that go to therapy, therapists don't even say too much sometimes, because people often just want to be heard and reflected back how they're feeling, listened to, right? So if we could do more of this for each other, then we wouldn't need things like therapy. Or, I mean, yeah, we would, because people would still go because they have the knowledge and they could help us a lot with many things that, you know, people that are not in the field don't know about. But think about how much more connected humans would be if we learned how to be open and connect with each other with compassion and love. Okay? So, anyways, that is my thought for today, and I'm hoping that my feelings and my thoughts from my heart and my mind resonate with you, and you can take them with you into your, sorry, a bird just flew over me, almost hit my head. I hope that you can take these words of wisdom and use them in your relations to create better connections, deeper connections, and experience more love and happiness in all your relations, because we all want that. We all want to be loved, and we're all better when we are loved, okay? So, thanks for watching my video. Have a wonderful day. Remember to like and subscribe for more content, and remember to stay mindful.